What is going on, Dodger fans? Wishing you, your friends, your family a very happy holidays. Thank you guys for tuning in to another special episode of the Incline Dodgers podcast. We are going to dedicate this one to Walker Buehler. Walker Buehler was announced on December 23rd to agreeing to a 1-year, $21.05 million contract to join the Boston Red Sox. How did we get here? Well, the Dodgers didn't offer him the qualifying offer in free agency. Maybe they felt that his market just wasn't worth the $21 million that he ultimately got with the Boston Red Sox. We'll do a more deeper analysis on Walker Buehler in our live shows and upcoming episodes. While you're here, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you like our content and hit the notification button if you want us to tune in to when we go live. The focus on this episode, though, is more of a tribute episode to Walker Buehler and the great career he had wearing a Los Angeles Dodgers uniform. How did it all begin? Well, let's go back to 2015 when the Dodgers selected Walker Buehler in the 2015 MLB draft in the first round, but he fell to 24th overall. Many scouts said he should have been selected much higher. So how did he fall to the Dodgers exactly? Well, there were some elbow issues, and because he had to undergo Tommy John surgery almost immediately into his Dodgers professional career, that's why he fell so deep into the first round. Turns out to be a big blessing for the Dodgers, though. So Walker Buehler undergoes Tommy John surgery, and he doesn't make a return till, I believe, late 2016. But let's fast forward to 2017. Walker Buehler starts his 2017 campaign in Single A out there in Rancho Cucamonga. Buehler is going to rise very quickly through the ranks, though, and before you know it, he's up there in AAA. And on September 6th, 2017, the Dodgers select his contract from AAA, and he makes his MLB debut in a relief appearance against the Colorado Rockies. His first career strikeout comes against none other than Charlie Blackmon, who had a very long and successful career with the Colorado Rockies and just announced retirement himself earlier in the 2024 campaign. So just some relief appearances for Walker Buehler, comes out of the bullpen, isn't a part of the postseason roster. Let's fast forward now to 2018. This is where Walker Buehler begins to make a household name for himself. He was already touted as a top prospect. He's coming off a season where he was the Dodgers minor league pitcher of the year. And come April 23rd, Walker Buehler is called up and he makes his first career start against the Miami Marlins. And what does Walker Buehler do in that first start? He throws 5 scoreless. No big deal. Just a couple starts later, I believe the Dodgers were out in Mexico City. They're facing the San Diego Padres. What does Walker Buehler do? Well, he throws 6 no-hit innings along with 8 strikeouts against the San Diego Padres. And the Dodgers go on to throw their first career franchise complete game no-hitter. So Walker Buehler was taken out after 6 innings. Obviously, the Dodgers have a track record of keeping their younger pitchers pitch count at a minimum. They didn't want Walker Buehler to take a toll on his arm this early on, especially in what is really his true rookie campaign. He throws the 6 no-hit innings. Dodgers go on to win. And from there on, Walker Buehler becomes a staple in the Dodgers rotation, just mowing down the opposition left and right. And even though the Dodgers kind of got off to a very slow start, they were below 500 at one point in 2018. Something turns the corner, and this team goes on a hot streak. They end up tying the Colorado Rockies in 2018 for the NL West division crown. So they have to go into a game 163. And Dave Roberts and the Dodgers make a very bold decision. They call upon the rookie Walker Buehler to start game 163 with the division on the line. And Walker Buehler absolutely shoves. He goes 6 2/3 innings, only allowed 1 hit, no earned runs allowed, 3 strikeouts. And yes, in a game 163, when there's a lot of pressure, Walker Buehler, as a rookie, throws 6 2/3 shutout innings, allowing just 1 hit. He absolutely dicked down the Colorado Rockies and owned them. From that point forward, the Dodgers do go on to make the postseason, obviously, and he has a couple dominant starts in the NLCS. He made 2 starts against the Milwaukee Brewers, finished that series with a 3.86 ERA. And in the World Series, Walker Buehler has one of the best World Series performances from a starting pitcher that I can remember, coming from a Dodgers pitcher. He goes 7 shutout innings, 7 strikeouts, just 2 hits are allowed against the Boston Red Sox, ultimately gets a no decision. Let's pull up the highlights right now and kind of get a glimpse of just how Walker Buehler looked in that 2018 World Series to refresh your memory. So let me share my screen and let's take a moment back in time.
Now about to throw his 8th pitch, and Betts takes calls from
Strikes out Mookie Betts to start the game. Incredible right there.
Both teams going to try and feel one another out. For Buehler,
look at that location.
One pitch that reached at 99, 2 at 98. The slowest speed on a fastball was at 96. The 2-2. Swung on and missed.
Next batter strikes out Xander Bogaerts, who now plays for the San Diego Padres.
Strikeouts for Buehler to begin the game. Well, that's the cut fastball. You're not going to see his.
And what was beautiful about Buehler back then,
at 95,
even though he was already throwing high velocity, he could reach 100 miles per hour at times. He wasn't a thrower. He was a pitcher. He had command of his fastball. He had command of his cutter. He had command of his secondary pitches. He threw a nasty slider and a nasty curveball. The guy just did it all, and you would not think he was a rookie.
Ball strike 3, and that ends the inning.
Look at that, 99, 98, dots the corner right there.
Devers awaits, here it comes, swung on and
97 up in the zone.
Up and in. Strikeout number
this is just
4 for
a
Walker
masterclass
Buehler.
from Walker Buehler.
Up and in with movement.
I mean, the Red Sox were the best team on paper this season, and you can see no rattlement. No, he's not even phased. He's just going out there dominating these Red Sox hitters.
Buehler into the line. Here's the pitch. Call, strike 3. Strikeout number 5 for Walker Buehler, who has retired 11 straight. Buehler into the line. Here's the pitch. Call, strike 3.
We're in the 7th inning at this point.
Buehler has now retired 13 in a row.
13 in a row he's retired for Charlie Steiner.
98 miles an hour.
98 miles per hour.
Here's the pitch to Martinez.
Strikes out JD Martinez. Absolutely electric right there. I remember this start like it was yesterday. Just pure adrenaline fire. Standing ovation right here. No decision. Dodgers go on to play a ridiculous 18-inning game, whatever it goes on to be. So let's stop sharing for a second. We got more for you. So yeah, this is going to be a blast from the past. Let's go to 2019 now. So anyways, Walker Buehler in 2018, his true rookie year, he ends up finishing 3rd for the Rookie of the Year voting, goes on to have an 8-5 record, 2.62 ERA over 23 starts, throws 137 innings, 151 strikeouts, 304 FIP, 0.961 WHIP. So the guy was just filthy nails year 1. 2019 now. So Walker Buehler, technically he's a sophomore, but at this point he's pitching like a true veteran out there. Has an impressive 2019 campaign. Makes his first All-Star team, goes 14-4, 3.26 ERA, 3.01 FIP, 182 innings thrown, 215 strikeouts in that national series where the Dodgers unfortunately go on to lose in 5. Well, Walker Buehler wasn't the issue in this series. He had an 0.71 ERA in those 2 starts. He started game 1 and game 5, took the ball with the season on the line, went 6 innings or so. I remember he gave up just 1 or 2 runs, kind of got a little fatigued near the end. But nonetheless, Walker Buehler put the Dodgers in a prime position to win that game 5. Unfortunately, the bullpen fell apart with some decisions made by Dave Roberts and maybe upper management. But regardless, a fantastic 2019 season for Walker Buehler. At this point, there is heavy discussions that he is now the team's ace. And we kind of looked at Kershaw in the rearview mirror. And at this point, it was kind of Walker Buehler's rotation to run the show. And That's why he started game 1, game 5. And I think it was pretty safe to say in 2019 and to follow, Walker Buehler at this point in time is now the Dodgers ace. So 2020, COVID, shortened season, lots of drama off and on the field. Very weird year. Buehler had some blister injuries in this season, so he was only able to make 8 starts during the regular season for the Dodgers. Regardless, we get to the postseason now. In rounds 1, which was a wild card round against the Brewers, and the NLDS against the Padres, because of the blister and all those issues, Walker Buehler was able to only throw 4 innings in each of those starts. He pitched great, but he was limited to only 4 innings because they didn't want that blister to burst, and he wasn't fully stretched out. But let's get to the NLCS now. This was a very dramatic series between the Dodgers and the Braves. Walker Buehler absolutely shoved. He made 2 starts. He went 11 innings, gave up just 1 earned run. He had an 0.82 ERA. When the Dodgers were trailing this series at this point, 3-2, Walker Buehler stepped up in game 6. Let's pull up some highlights of what Walker Buehler was able to do in that NLCS game 6. So here's another blast from the past.
There will continue to be contests throughout the postseason. Buehler has done nothing but pump home strikes.
So at this point, the Dodgers are up 3-0. It's the second inning.
Works to Darno.
Just kind of giving you guys an idea of what he looked like in this series, and then we'll get to some of his big moments. Throwing 96.
Strike. So he's up to 10 pitches. He's thrown 2 pitches in this inning. That means in the first inning he threw 8, not 7.
Dodgers legend Travis d'Arnaud.
Egregious error. 1-1 pitch. Skips in. 2 balls and a strike.
Well, I know the ideal situation
for
the Braves is to make them work really
jam.
hard and to try and get in their bullpen.
At his
Cancer is a long journey. It's overwhelming.
roommate. When he nothing.
Here we go. So the bases are loaded. We're in the second inning. Nobody out for the Atlanta Braves.
And 3 straight hits. The only bad news for the Braves, no runs.
How is Walker Buehler going to get out of this? Bases loaded, nobody out, second inning. Dodgers trailing 3-2 in the series. Dodgers lose this game, they're going home. 2020 season over for the Dodgers, who all year long dominated all of Major League Baseball, and this felt like it was their year.
But even a double play to shortstop gets you 1 run.
So here's Austin Riley at the dish for Atlanta.
And not rely.
We got Buehler throwing 98 miles per hour to Austin Riley.
Bases loaded, especially nobody out, the pressure's on the pitcher. But you almost feel nowadays the pressure's on the hitter because of the ability to swing and miss and a free out and then a double play.
He was struck out 7 times, Austin Riley. Big, strong right-handed batter. Tough matchup, and we'll see who wins this little battle within this ball game. Here's the 0-1. Strike 2.
98 right down the middle. Didn't even matter. Riley swings and misses. Look at that gas from Walker Buehler.
Looking where he is in the lineup.
We'll get to 2024, but you can see the difference of just how Walker Buehler looked in his prime versus Walker Buehler coming off his second Tommy John surgery. This is why Walker Buehler in his prime was the guy you wanted to have on the mound with your season
for his
on the
first
line.
Strikeout of the ball game. Just found it.
Look at that, 99 miles per hour, 3 straight strikes, gets Austin Riley to swing every single time. Strike 3, insane.
More than just beautiful dance. It's a
Fast forward a little bit.
Every bit of him gets behind these pitches and rushes it up there in the high 90s.
Nick Markakis is now batting 1-2 count. Might have to skip a little more.
Rookie Pache on deck. Strikes out looking. Ball just explodes at the plate.
Yeah,
Here's the setup pitch. Okay, so yeah, 2-2 count, 1 out. Nick Markakis was battling with Buehler. He's up to about to be what's the 30th pitch.
He has to figure out a way to get on the ball.
100 miles per hour. Unreal.
This is against the bottom.
Since starting the farmer's dog, Bogart has lost so much weight. And he has so
3 in the lineup.
Okay, 0-2 count. Christian Pache at the dish now. Remember, this was bases loaded, nobody out. First 2 guys he struck out to get the 2 outs.
Has been impressive. The home run, 4 RBIs in the LCS.
Still throwing 98.
At least he's got a shorter stroke, you know, to give himself a chance. He would have been a better hitter to be up with the bases loaded, nobody out. Then unfortunately, Riley,
and I have no idea if you guys can hear the
pitches, and he was
audio
out.
commentary. That's something I'll find out after the fact when I'm doing this. But anyways, 0-2 count, Pache, 2 outs, second inning.
Can you imagine what Dodger Stadium would sound like right now?
Neutral site game.
Here's a
ground out. Seager gets out of it. Nonetheless, that for me was the highlight of 2020 right there for Walker Buehler. He goes on to shove in the World Series and he was dominant, but that NLCS, especially Game 6, what a beauty from Walker Buehler there. So in the World Series, he does make 1 start against the Tampa Bay Rays. He goes 6 innings, 10 strikeouts, didn't allow a run, and the Dodgers go on to win the World Series. So fast forward now, we're in 2021. Walker Buehler has his best regular season to date. He goes on to make his second All-Star team. He had a 2.47 ERA, was able to make 33 starts, threw 208 innings, 212 strikeouts, a whip below 1 at .968. Finishes, I think, 4th in Cy Young that year. There was a number of competitors that had great seasons, including teammates of Max Scherzer and Julio Urias. But anyways, so yeah, Buehler pitches fine in the playoffs. I think he gets a no decision and maybe a loss to the Giants. But I think this is one of the most monumental moments and kind of just exemplifies and tells you what kind of teammate Walker Buehler is. So at this point, we're in the NLCS. The Dodgers, I believe, are trailing the series once again to the Atlanta Braves, 3-2. Max Scherzer is scheduled to start. And literally the night before, we get a notification and news breaks that Max Scherzer is going to scratch himself due to a dead arm. This was a huge blow to the Dodgers, not only because Max Scherzer was having one of his best seasons ever and was arguably the Dodgers' ace at the time, but the Dodgers were already diminished in terms of starting pitchers. They basically had 3 guys they could count on: Max Scherzer, Julio Urias, and Walker Buehler. And Urias was already worn out in this series. Walker Buehler had just pitched a couple days prior, basically, and now Max Scherzer scratches himself, and the Dodgers either have to turn to a bullpen game when these guys are already pretty much fatigued and out of gas. And so what does Walker Buehler do? He basically puts his career on the line and volunteers himself to pitch that Game 6. He was going to go Game 7 if they were going to make it to a Game 7, but instead he decides to pitch Game 6, take one for the team on 3 days rest, knowing that the season was on the line, because this was just the type of pitcher and teammate Walker Buehler was. He was willing to basically sacrifice his career at any point if it could help ensure and help lead his team to success and championships. And even though the Dodgers had just won the championship the year before, Walker Buehler wanted to lay it all out there, take one for the team. And ultimately, he does go on to kind of get shelled, and it was a rough outing. Eddie Rosario hit a huge home run off him, but it's not really so much the performance. It's more the thought and the outcome, or the thought and the sacrifice that Walker Buehler was willing to make for his team. So for me, that probably speaks true to just kind of how legendary Walker Buehler truly is for the Dodgers. In my opinion, when he decides to hang it up, he's going to go into the Ring of Honor. They're going to bring him back as often as they could. Who knows what type of role he could be. And maybe this isn't even the last time Walker Buehler pitches for the Dodgers. I mean, it's a 1-year contract with the Red Sox. He could go out there and just have a fantastic bounce back year. Despite the 2 Tommy John surgeries, we've seen guys like Nathan Eovaldi refurbish their careers. And why not Walker Buehler to be the next guy? If anyone's going to do it, give him the time. It could be Walker Buehler. So he's going to re-enter the free agency market a year from now, and maybe the Dodgers have an opening. Maybe a guy or two is hurt, leaves the team, gets traded. Who knows? And there might be an opening for Walker Buehler. So that's why I wanted to just kind of highlight the importance of Walker Buehler did for the team in 2021. Anyways, 2022 ends up being kind of a rough down year for Buehler. In my opinion, it was a carryover effect from all the innings he threw the year before. He had a career high in innings, over 200 innings. On top of that, he pitched on short rest. And I think that short rest really took a toll on him. A guy like Max Scherzer, who was just a selfish prick looking for the money as opposed to trying to help the Dodgers win, really screwed over Walker Buehler and potentially cost him that huge contract that he's still trying to seek one day. Regardless, Buehler in 2022 had like an ERA of 4.02, only was able to make 12 starts. Then the bummer news came out. He had to undergo a second Tommy John surgery, missed the second half of 2022, missed all of 2023. And then in 2024, Walker Buehler returns, has a very rough and up and down campaign, 5.38 ERA, has a kind of hit or miss start because of some bad defense in the NLDS against the Padres. But he did kind of find himself towards the end of the regular season, and he really found himself in the NLCS against the New York Mets through 4 scoreless innings. Then we go to the World Series just a couple months ago. Walker Buehler throws 5 shutout innings against the New York Yankees, a team that he's going to see a lot more of now since he's wearing a Boston Red Sox uniform. And of all things, expect the unexpected sometimes. It was Walker Buehler who got the final 3 outs for the Dodgers to win the World Series. So if that truly is Walker Buehler's last pitch as a Dodger, which we're going to get to right now, I mean, what a freaking way to just go out.
I'll always take care of you.
Try and keep things alive for the Yankees.
A lot of shit.
Buehler throws and misses downstairs. Top of the order, Gleyber Torres. If Verdugo can reach. Dave Roberts giving directions to his outfielders.
Look at this. Walker Buehler's pitching on like 2 days rest. The whole story of how he was able to get himself into the Dodgers
bullpen.
1 ball, 1 strike. Classic. Right to Alex Verdugo.
The Dodgers a strike away from a championship, from a proper celebration.
There it is.
The party, Los Angeles. Your Dodgers
Start the party.
have won the World Series.
And that might have been the last pitch that Walker Buehler throws for the Los Angeles Dodgers. And if it really is, I mean, what a true way to go out. Just one of the most iconic moments of our lifetimes. Even though Walker Buehler had a very down regular season, he made up for it in a huge way in the postseason. And what an iconic strikeout of Alex Verdugo to clinch the World Series, 2024 World Series champions. A moment that we can celebrate and remember for the rest of our lives. One of the best moments in Los Angeles history. So what an iconic year, what an iconic run. Dodgers winning the World Series championship. A lot of it, and thanks to Walker Buehler when the Dodgers bullpen really needed it because they were worn out, especially by the time they got to that game. So let's just kind of reflect real quick on Walker Buehler, just how special of a pitcher he was for your Dodgers. You can see his baseball reference page, 12.2 baseball reference WAR, 47 wins, 22 losses, 3.27 career ERA, was able to make 122 starts for your Los Angeles Dodgers, a whip of just slightly over 1, 754 strikeouts, 713 innings thrown. Scrolling down real quick just to get a sense of how good of a postseason pitcher he was. 13 series, 19 games appeared in, because that one was out of the bullpen that we just watched. 3.04 lifetime ERA in the playoffs. I mean, that's money right there. 0.47 ERA in the World Series. I mean, this guy, when the lights are at its brightest, the guy steps up. He's absurd. And so for a team like the Red Sox, if they're going to make the playoffs, well, they got a guy they definitely are going to love to have in their rotation. I mean, all the years of Walker Buehler for us, basically it was money in the bank, huge part of the Dodgers' success. Not only in the regular season, but in his heyday, the postseason, the guy just stepped up, and it felt like every big game. So we're going to miss him. He was such a pleasure to watch. Number 21, Walker Buehler. That's probably the guy I'm going to always associate now as number 21 for your Los Angeles Dodgers. Just an insane career. I mean, that 2021 year, 2.47 ERA, 2019 All-Star as well, 3.01 FIP. The guy just had an incredible tenure with the Dodgers. And time really flies by because, I mean, it was 7 years, but it felt like a lot less, to be honest. I wish we could have gotten a lot more of Walker Buehler in his prime before the second Tommy John surgery, because he really was a phenom. That 2018 year, he was a big part of the turnaround, and they definitely don't get to the World Series without him. In 2020, they don't win the World Series. There's no doubt about it. If they didn't have Walker Buehler, they're not winning the 2020 World Series. Just an incredible pitcher, and definitely going to miss him being a part of the Dodgers rotation. But yeah, that was the Walker Buehler tribute episode. So let us know in the comments below your favorite Walker Buehler memories. Share some Walker Buehler facts if you'd like. And you were watching the Incline Dodgers podcast, the Walker Buehler tribute episode. So hit that like button if you enjoyed the content. Hit that subscribe button. I don't do tribute videos very often, so wanted to do one special for Walker Buehler. And thank you guys for watching. Happy holidays. Best of luck to Walker Buehler, number 21, two-time World Series champion. We're going to miss you, sir.